Hello and welcome to Tarot Pairs. Tonight, my guest, as most other Tarot Pair nights, is Jeff from Tarot Ask Backwards. Oh,
Yeah.
you seem surprised, Jeff, that you're a guest. He's the only one crazy enough to do this week after week with me, and this little thing of permutations. Hello, Miss Moonlight.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I don't know why more readers aren't coming to this. I mean, this is the real chance to not show your chops, but show where your intuition lies. So I'm always glad to do it.
It does. Well, it does give you exercise too in reading all the permutations. Because it does mean one thing upright and one thing reversed, and we've got all the combinations covered. Devil. I'm getting the cards together, folks.
Hi, Fatima. Hi, Miss Moonlight.
Fatima, I have to give you props. You went and viewed a whole playlist of cards, and I mean a whole playlist, and went back and commented on every one of them. So thank you for that. That helps out immensely. Oh, that's going to be a combination. Oh, so is that. Okay, Jeff, do you want to introduce our first story?
Yes, I will. So the first one is the monkeypox virus in Africa, Northern Africa, I think, the Congo. That's what I read. Is having a resurgence. And since last year, the monkeypox cases are up something like 14,000. And in 2024, 511 deaths in children make up about, the monkeypox is back, Miss Moonlight. 511 deaths. So right about now, the thunk show, let's check now. There is this movement afoot over there because they felt they've been left behind during COVID, to get more vaccine involved. There have been monkeypox cases in areas of Africa that have never seen them before. Hi, Felicia. Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda. So the basic gist of this is that they want more attention from the rest of the world as far as this goes, because they have been underfunded. This has been concerned, and we're with COVID. And this is a sexually transmitted, I believe, variant of this, wasn't it? So they have 200,000 doses coming in, but that is not nearly enough. It would cost $100 per dose to vaccinate. So we're going to look at that one first. And a lot of sex workers, you guys. It's spreading in the east of what I assume is the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think that's what they mean by DRC. Among sex workers and other adults, into a subtype that's called Clade 1B or Clade IB.
So, did you participate in the round of monkeypox vaccines during COVID? I think it was 2
I did
injections
not.
total.
No, I did
There
not.
was a big push for it here, and some people were refusing because they didn't want to identify to the government that they were active gay males, and they thought it was a ploy to out the gays here in Texas.
Yeah, I think in the last couple of years too, it was spreading again here, or it might have been something else that was spreading. But there was another sexually transmitted. I don't know if it was monkeypox, but it was spreading among the gay population too.
Absolutely not, Cosmic Orphan. You don't want to eat that for breakfast. So, Jeff, I'll let you take the first position, the 9 of Wands upright, and we'll start with the upright page. Page of Cups starts at 9 of Wands, ends it, and they're both upright at the moment.
Okay.
And then you'll do Page upright and 9 of Wands reversed.
Okay, so
Did Jeff freeze, or I think maybe Jeff might have frozen. Let's wait till he comes back. There we go. Yeah, that's what happened. He's back. You're back. But you're muted this time.
all right, so with the Page of Cups upright and the 9 of Wands upright, what I'm seeing with this is not enough vaccine and too much chaos and too much emotion in remote third world areas where this may be hitting. In other words, the intention's good, but there's just not enough vaccine, and that's what I'm getting with the Page of Cups. Also, I'm going to come back in and come back out after this upright one, but
Okay.
this 9 of Wands upright tells me when he's standing his ground, there's a lot of distance between what's about to transpire now that has maybe some people tentative about giving help that are worldwide. That's why the fish is coming in with a slow offer that seems minuscule compared to what is needed versus how embattled they're going to be down the road by the time the 9 of Wands comes into play. So to me, to my way of thinking, enough isn't going to be enough. And I think the issue with the children is coming in with the page because it's a message that this should be about the children, but people are too frightened in some of the more remote areas because of what is scarcity of availability, that all the fear mongering, if you will, and the actual inability to rally the worldwide effort behind them, like the World Health Organization and other organizations that hopefully will come aboard. They haven't caught on yet because even though we're a global now, and one world, one planet, whatever. They can't really count on, especially the United States right now, with things that they're having to deal with in this country, as far as politics, to consider donating when people don't know which way is up until the election happens. So it's not getting the coverage it should. And I'm going to come back and reboot.
Okay, and then I'll do the Page of Cups upright and the Nine of Wands reversed while you're gone. So in this case, I think vaccine is offered, but it is not offered in plenty. This is the fishes and the loaves, and there can't be a miracle to manufacture enough of the drug for the near time need of the vaccine. And then the Nine of Wands reversed, the governments and the World Health Organizations don't see it as their duty to provide medications to stop a worldwide pandemic, especially when each dosage costs $100. They need to get a plan to manufacture more and quicker and more efficient, so the cost per dosage is way down from that. Hi, Moira. Welcome. So how's everyone doing tonight? Miss Moonlight, Felicia, Flowing's gone already. Cosmic Orphan, Moira. Hello, and thanks for being here. We love our lurkers, even if they don't engage. Fatima, like I said, Fatima is amazing. She always remembers to comment on videos that she's watched, so that for a creator is a blessed opportunity to have somebody that does that without fail to our videos and our content. I don't know what company makes the vaccine. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out here. Houston had one of those days today that and this was a story that we got from NPR. There's been 511 deaths out of 14,000 cases reported as up to date of the article. I'll be with you in a second. I'm trying to go through the article and see if I can see who's making the monkeypox vaccine. What? It does not say what pharmaceutical is responsible for the monkeypox vaccine. Bavarian Nordic AS is the one approved for Canada, Europe, and the United States. Thank you, Stephen. So when we have the Page of Cups reversed and the Nine of Wands upright.
Okay.
And I'll let you go with that, Jeff.
All right. So This is just utter failure to me. The message isn't getting across from what happened in COVID when Africa was left behind. And I'm hearing the word infantile because the response was such short shrift and so, unreliable that instead of getting the message, even as meager as what could have been done might have been in the minds of people over there, even less is going to get done this time, to the point where they'll still be in battle, they'll still be bitter, but we are going to lose a lot more children over this. And that's when the real embitterment and embattlement will really start to take hold, and then people will pay more attention. And by then, maybe per 100 people, there'll be more, or for the $100 it costs to, vaccinate everybody or whatever it is, this won't be as much of an issue, so that they can not eradicate it, but at least make a dent where they wouldn't have made a dent before. That's what I'm getting from that card.
And with the Page of Cups reversed and the Nine of Wands reversed, we have a worldwide apathy towards providing the vaccine to African countries because the cost of each dosage is so high that it would strain pharmaceutical company who developed the vaccine, would strain their profit, even though in the long run, if they ramped up production and made things cheaper, they could recoup their money, as other countries need to onboard and vaccinate their people too. And with the Nine of Wands reversed, the duty of our governments in assisting, help fund these vaccination programs, the money is just not forthcoming because they're getting strapped in their own budgets, and they're letting they're just getting to the point where we can't fund this and fund that and fund the other thing. So let's just let what is seen as poorer or third world nations suffer the consequence of our bad planning, to know that it could have gone to pandemic levels. And any other thoughts about that stories? Absolutely, Fatima. All medical systems are scams. My medical system from their pharmacy sent supplies for a foot wound that I had, but they didn't send the doctor ordered requested supplies. They just sent what they wanted, and then they sent like a year's supply. So I've got this huge box of ankle wrap and stretchy gauze and gauze pads, but there's no antibiotic ointments or creams, and there's no donut corn pads to keep that injured area of the foot separated from hitting the ground, so it can heal properly. So that's a thing that health companies do. They do what they want, and then when the doctor insists and sends the same prescription in again, they'll say, "Oh, we sent that," and then you got to prove to them the supplies they sent and what they didn't send. So it's messed up. Our next story is one of the zoos has a black-footed cat. And he looks like a short-haired Bengal cat. He's 8 months old, 2.9 pounds, and they're rolling him out for public viewing. But this 2.9 pound feral cat is a very efficient predator. So, they're making sure that they can keep it contained at its enclosure at the zoo. But in nature, the numbers are dwindling, and they're hoping to get breeding pairs to help the species. And first of all, we have the Five of Swords. So there's an unfair game. The unfair game here, as viewed by the public, is taking nature out of nature and having man assist. But in certain cases, we need to assist because we've taken away a lot of the areas where this cat normally goes, and that's the Five of Swords. So the unfair game, and then our Devil upright. It can be a cantankerous breed of cats and cause havoc, and can transform birdlands and amphibious nature, almost strip them bare of resources. So they're really keeping an eye on where they release anything back to the wild if they need to. And Jeff, you've got the Five of Swords upright and the Devil reversed.
Yeah. So with this card here, and this sort of presentation here, I'm thinking, to me, there's no winner in this, in the sense that they can't, as Thomas said, the efficient sort of hunting that would occur naturally in nature, and then this from a distance wanting to admire it or admire it from afar, in isolation, they've brought it aside for now, and it is named Gaia. I assume from Mother Gaia, so it has a divine purpose, but that divine purpose is not to be in enclosure the way it is, but to say that and to create sort of a habitat of its own, kind of like the way the Five of Swords. He is happy to have his swords. I'm the winner, but there's still an empty part that is part of him that the others can't really see. That he can't see about himself. So to me, what this means basically is that they're not looking at it from the perspective of the animal. I mean, not that they should turn it loose or anything, but maybe a Jackson Galaxy or somebody could come in and actually talk to it and do something with it. And then the other thing I'm getting is like a dervish or an ocelot or something. The ability it would have, reverse Devil, to be that efficient predator that Thomas points out is really something that could result in someone getting hurt and having to surrender to this idea that we can try to control this, because at some point, I think what's going to overrun everything is the cat wasn't domesticated, right? So it hasn't been in any home. So I'm just thinking in terms of the fact that the wild ways will prevail, and they're going to have to surrender to that reality at some point, even if they want to save the animal and they want to make more of them. They're going to really have to create some sort of efficient way to not just hunt or allow it to hunt, but to allow it to procreate too. So yes, the struggle is real.
And can you see anything? Is it actually
I hear you. I see you. I don't know.
is being a bum.
Hi. What do you want to do now? You want to play? I can read.
I have to shrink my screen so small, but it's not. So it gives me the controls to do the next button to show the video. So it's called a black-footed cat. He's 2.6 pounds. He's a little forest cat, and he's very stealthy in his territory. So, like I said, birds, mice, small lizards, and rodents are all vulnerable to their dietary requirements. So I'll do 5 of swords reversed. They're trying to play a fair game and control breeding in zoos and stuff like that, but it's all real hit and miss. They don't know what success rate is going to be. Breeding pandas in captivity has notoriously been bad. And they've spent millions upon millions of dollars to try to get it to happen. The devil upright, they're going to have to transform their methods if they want to get a successful breeding program going. And finally, Jeff, you have both the 5 of swords and the devil reversed.
So as much as they might try and say they are going to compromise or find a middle ground to do this, they don't really have it. And even still, it's more about the thoughts not being in alignment with what the reality is, as far as not just how it needs to graze or eat, but where you can keep this sort of animal, how long it can actually sustain itself. And I think more than anything, the people for the ethical treatment of animals even are some of those groups that are supportive of the endangered species, may be in a position where they're caught sort of in their own way, defending the indefensible, yet taking the moral high ground and saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do this and need to do this, but there's no real teeth to what they're saying because it's not grounded in anything solid that can really be done for Gaia. And then with this reversed, I think they're resigned to the novelty of thinking that this can be domesticated, and they're going to grow accustomed to, of course, loving it and surrendering to it. But in the midst of that, they're sacrificing the animal's well-being for their own personal good. And I just feel like that is maybe the hand that feeds them, or maybe it's going to turn around and bite the hand that feeds them eventually. I mean, I don't know how vicious it didn't look to me based on the article it could happen, but I've had some cats in my day that have been pretty nasty to me. So if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, so don't underestimate them.
Yeah. For pure size, Andy is all muscle, and when you pick him up, he seems heavier than he should be for the size of cat that he is. He's just and he's ornery. Just got slick of meanness in him to get under Ron's fur, so to speak. Every time they go past each other, they do the old 1-2 on the snout or somewhere else on the body where they're passing close to, just to get a reaction in a game going. And so I think that's a zoo in Utah. Our next story deals with several people maybe charged in conjunction with Matthew Perry's death. And is this going to pan out or not? And Jeff, you can start with the two uprights. We have upright sun, upright tower.
Okay, so where is the tower? Where'd it go? Upright side.
I'll hang up a tower for you if you want.
Yeah,
it's a different deck.
I'm confusing it with another card because they're also the colors of these in this tarot deck blends into one another. That sometimes the images, the colors make me think there's something other than they are. But I think what was happening with this, because I've read on this several times on my channel, was that this wasn't done. There was always more to this, is what I was getting, than met the eye. And what I think it is coming to light now, I'm going to do this card first, even though this one is first, is the reality that he had the connections and the power to basically have the ketamine or whatever was in it laced, or I don't know if anybody purposefully did it. I never got that with that, but he had a circle of friends that were very much mooching off him and doing all of these things that I think is being brought to light now. The article's very brief in what it says. It just basically comes out, and I think in a 2-paragraph blurb, and says that more people, and I'm just wondering who the names of these people are.
As many individuals are coming out.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if with the sun, we're going to be seeing a lot of people with the spotlight on them already who are in Hollywood. The other thing is with the tower upright, this also could mean to me that this could spell the end of some of their careers, or definitely an interruption in work for some of them. The story got less attention in the beginning because it really didn't seem to have legs, because everybody who said it, he just died accidentally. But I don't believe that. I believe that the actual process that led to it may have been accidental, but there are so many hands involved in it now that there's no going back, and it's just going to be like one shitstorm after another.
So with the sun upright and the tower in reverse position, I think, like Jeff said, there's going to be several celebrities or well-known names in movies and film and television that will be exposed, being in orbit with Matthew at the time of his death, but when they found there was a problem, they left him and scattered. The reverse tower just signals how they don't want to face any consequences for proximity. Whether they had a cause of getting bad product or laced product and giving it to everybody at the party, or They just don't want to be involved at all. They don't want to be exposed by that bright sunlight. But apparently, somebody's got something on a group of people. Sun reverse, tower upright. Jeff?
So the more that they try to hide this, or the less that the Illuminati or the the conspiratorial aspects of this.
Oh, the conspiracy! Conspiracies already.
Conspiratorial is hidden. Or what Thomas said about the people scattering, that's what's going to unearth. And I'm getting unearthing with this card because everything is shaking to its core. And I just think,
those foundations,
like a quake of some type. Maybe it'll come out during another earthquake out there or something. I just never knew that ketamine could do this to somebody. I thought it was supposed to be therapeutic for depression. And I'm trying to figure out, same thing, Felicia. I'm trying to figure out what that was all about. What I'm also thinking is that even with the sun reversed, it's still a card sometimes in the tarot you want to get reversed, meaning something hasn't been brought to light yet. So even with the tower, I still think there could be some of the same meaning that's attributed to it when the sun is upright. But there's I think there's a snow job going on, or there's just some sort of cover up involved. And I think it's intentional. And I do hearken back to I think the conspiracy theories lend themselves, until we know the truth, to continue to propagate as a result of this.
Did I give you the sun upright and the tower reversed? Is that what I gave you?
Sun upright. I thought it was the sun reversed.
No, you did the sun reversed and the tower upright. Okay.
All right. So what should it have been? Tower reversed.
I need to know where we are in the.
Yeah, you reversed. Clearly, I don't either.
Okay. So I'll do an upright. I'll do an upright. An upright. Did you do that?
Upright of which card?
You did that to start with. So we're on the reverses.
Yes.
Both. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Where you had your two readings. So it's reverse sun, reverse tower. The unearthing of peoples that are going to be featured in this revelation are going to be shocking. That some that are you would associate with Matthew immediately, and then there's going to be some obscure personalities that you wouldn't even think that he would run in circles with. And the tower being reversed, it's all may be lost on the case, because the tower is so damaged and so torn apart by the fall that they don't even want to build it in the same place, because the foundations will never be sure footing. So there really isn't a legal standing or proof that these people were in the nearby orbit. But people in Hollywood are wanting answers. So they're going through the motions of doing things, but they're just not going to be fruitful and pay off. And our last story is about a small town. Was he a janitor at a school or something?
Hinsdale. He was firstly a history teacher, I believe, and then he was someone that worked in landscaping for a while, just within the trailer park they lived in. He was known for cruising around on his tractor.
Okay.
But he was a teacher for a certain period of time. Yeah.
And then this
In Hinsdale.
this person passed away in Hinsdale, New Hampshire. This person passed away, and the town found out that there were no living relatives and that he had left the town lots and lots of money. And nobody would have ever thought that he would have amassed this amount of money being a teacher and a gardener, landscaper, putterer, handyman. So the town is going to benefit greatly from it, and it just sounds like it's burning a hole in their pocket. Is that what I'm getting? That there's so many things they want to do with the money, it's not going to stretch, and they're kind of bitter that he didn't leave more.
Yeah, they promised to be judicious with it in his own spirit because his father, he was dyslexic and he couldn't really excel at school, was the impression I got. The way that his father would have liked him to, as opposed to his sister or brother. They interviewed the sister in the article. So he thought making money was the best way that he could show his own discipline, I guess. But it looks like everyone has their own agenda for what they want to do with the money. What Thomas is saying.
So there is some remaining family that wants to sue and wrestle it back from
I didn't
where
get
it was
that
granted.
I didn't get that impression, but I got the impression that the sister is convinced that whatever the town does with it, they'll be. Hi, Amanda. They'll do the right thing by him and to honor his memory, be not parsimonious, but very judicious in how they spend it. That's the impression I got.
So I'll take the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles upright. So the Knight of Pentacles is our slow-moving knight, sure and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Jeff calls this the mercenary card. If he's going into battle for something, he's battling for one cause in his upright position, but in his mercenary position, he's for sale to the highest bidder. And this person was a good steward of his money and made sure that there was going to be a legacy left after his life to the town that really didn't treat him all that nicely when he was alive. And the Seven of Pentacles upright, it's time for the city to take a break and take stock and not to count their money before the probate or whatever ends, and take proper input from citizens on where money could be spent in a wise way. And you have Knight of Pentacles upright and Seven of Pentacles reversed.
So yeah, I mean, this is the ideal that something good could come of this, but it's going to be with everything in probate, with everything moving at a snail's pace. I think people are placing, and of course with taxes, people are placing too much emphasis on too many different irons in the fire that they want to try to accomplish within the town of Hinsdale with that amount of money, which after all is said and done, I don't. As great as it is that he's doing this, they're going to find themselves even in the position with this that it's not going to take them very far. And so with this reverse, that's this kind of it dovetails nicely from what that card was, because for all the hard work that the man had, they're going to find that a lot of it will disappear before they can say, well, we want to fix the town office, or we want to do something with the school, or we want to do whatever it was. And yet by the same token, the sevens are about plans, but that sort of stick-to-itiveness where everyone can have a general consensus as to what that plan should be, by that time probably will have evolved even more, because the needs change, people's needs change. So that's what I'm getting from that iteration of the cards.
Knight of Pentacles reversed, so we got that mercenary. He didn't sell out to the highest bidder. He gave it to the local town. He didn't have many passions other than, the gardening and the teaching, and so he thought he could leave a legacy with being a teacher. Maybe he thought they would develop scholarship funds instead of being donated to the general expenditures of the city, like running fire, water, trash, whatever utilities that they have to provide. The Seven of Pentacles upright, again, it's that pause. And I really think this is the part of the town council to really be a good steward of the money that he left to them and do the absolute maximum that they can. But they do have to be careful in their planning not to overreach their budget. And finally, Jeff, you have both of them reversed. Knight of Pentacles.
Yeah. And Knight of Pentacles reversed to me is the assassin in a political reading, but just all around. I sense a lot of slow hidden energy here with someone that has more dibs on it, or everyone in the town is going to convene at a meeting, right? And they're going to convene at a meeting and they're going to decide, since these are both reversed, we want this. There could be a shouting match about how the resources should be divvied up, what the plan should be. But I think what Thomas was saying about where those resources are allocated is going to depend on the stewardsmanship of the people in the town office, because people can have some crackpot ideas about what they want to do. And then they may have ideas that conflict with one another. So maybe the more mercenary people who are more, into wanting to make the town or more of a certain way, less, more of a, I'm not thinking refined, but more better manicured, doing the things on a, like with the parks, and this isn't mercenary stuff. There could be somebody that has a political agenda that comes into this that, wants to take maybe something from something and augment the sum that he gave and do something else with it, because there is that shortfall. So I just think that this is just about the conflicting interests of the people in the town versus maybe some of the wealthier people who want it more gentrified. That's the word I'm thinking. But other than that, I that's all I get from this.
Well, thank you for going through this exercise yet again with me, Jeff. And now we are opening up to your questions. Sort of ask us anything. Try to keep away from third party. What does X think of me or our relationship? We want it to be personal, something that you can be actionable about. Make it a question that way. how can I foster my and ex's relationship, or currently non-existent relationship? How can I push it towards romance? That would be a much better question to answer energetically without stepping into people's private energetic circles. So Amanda has already asked for a question. And do you have a subject that you would like us to read on, Amanda? And so you see what I've been doing the last few nights is doing some pop-ups just to only try to hit an average of 12 hours of view time in a day's time. And I found out last night after the statistics were updated in YouTube Studio that I've got approximately 3 hours of content that is being naturally viewed by viewers a day. So I really only need to get 9 hours of content out. So if I've got 10 people here and I do an hour-long show, if they've watched it from beginning to end, I hit that. But as you know, people bounce in and out. As long as they stay for 30 seconds, you get a view. But it's that all-important retained watch time that counts towards that 4,000 hours of viewing time to get monetized. Not monetizing, just want to equal that. So I have a goal to attain and to prove to myself that I was a measured success on a YouTube platform at
So
one period in time.
if they go out and come back in and go out and come back in, go out and come back in, does that count as a separate view or one view?
Each URL is logged separately.
Oh, okay.
So, there is a way. They know who TK and Tarot Destroyer and all those people are for that one URL, but they own thousands of URLs where they're attacking from, that they just change the nickname that they're known as. I could be Tarot Your Way one day, and I could change my handle without changing my channel to be to spoof you. Maybe not letter for letter, but close enough that people would be confused.
Remember when everyone was getting spoofed, you guys, for a while? That was recently. Yeah. Everyone that is anyone was getting spoofed. Okay.
Well, Jeff, I would have to say that you and I are both not just anyone on YouTube. We are.
Yeah, I'm enough.
We are the apple of a psychic attacker's eye.
I'm so big. I'm good for 3 people, maybe 4.
Oh, no. I mean, well, your content is phenomenal, and you show up every morning, afternoon, evening. You put in the reps. I'm in the phase of I just got to keep sucking until I can get success, but only in my eyes. It does.
You don't suck. I don't think you suck.
It's just putting in the reps and getting comfortable, and I feel that I haven't developed the skills to hold an on screen by myself without somebody else assisting me. I'm not that confident yet. I'm working on it. First of all, I hate
you do a lot more as far as animation goes and stuff like that, and as far as other things that you're doing within the course of your videos. So that's why you probably feel that way. You kind of almost feel, like a figure.
The card of the day is 2.5 to 3 minutes. I've got to get 20 people to watch it from stem to stern to get an hour's view, and some of those, they top out at 3 views a day, with the day that they're introduced. And then I don't think that they get picked up unless somebody like Fatima gets in that card of the day list playlist on my channel and says, "Oh, I missed these other 11. Let me watch these other 11." And then she comes back and she comments, and what a blessing for us. I mean, wow. Uh, Totally, you don't need to do it every time. Do it once a day for one video, not every video every day that you watch. You'll make our heads very big, very large, thinking that Fatima is crushing on us. And I think Fatima knows that she's not our audience. So what does Amanda's guides?
Well, this is what I'm picking up on. The 3 words I heard when I read that question were disjointed, convoluted, and out of sorts. But the main message in the center, Amanda, is you need to learn to love yourself, because you got the 2 of Wands, and this is, for those that watched Gerald's channel saw this, so I'm not going to go through this deck again, but it's the Visions of Life Tarot. And each of these cards does have its commensurate value as far as what it would be in the tarot. And this is the 2 of Wands. So it's, to me, like you need to make a decision to love yourself. This came in the energy you're sitting in right now, it reversed. This is not a bad card to be selfish when it's got to be about you for once. And I think there's some decision that you are currently weighing quite heavily. And you're wondering what the best move for you would be. And your guides are trying to show that to you. But it's not as crucial a thing to your life path as it is to be happy in moments, Amanda, and not please others. So remember, the moments are about you, and remember that the actual gift of loving yourself is the most important thing in that moment. In the past, you got 7 of Swords reversed. So there's a bit of self-deception or self-sabotage that you put yourself through just to make what you believe are the right choices, whether or not they would make anyone happy, let alone yourself, is what I'm getting here. Also, the other thing I'm getting for you is the 5 of Cups energy on top of you, estrangement, walking away from a situation. It's funny, because you can try and walk away from something, but you walk away from it and then you've created another memory of having walked away from it. So what I'm saying to you is you have to make that decision to be in your own authority and be happy about the choice that you've made in that moment. And that's all there really is. And I hate saying it. I don't believe in, well, forget those. I won't go that far. King of Pentacles reversed. That patriarchal in your future, there is a threat of insecurity that is posited by these cards, meaning there is a lot of risk involved in what you're doing right now as far as putting yourself first or what you have to do. But it really isn't about anyone else, and it's not about an ideal, and it's not about the resources to get to that ideal. It's about belief in yourself and not being resplendent maybe in what we define on this earth as rich or poor, happy or sad. It's about digging a lot deeper into those things because you've experienced all of them is what I'm getting. I'm getting an old soul from you. So you need to, before you leave, whenever you leave this planet, that's what you need to do for yourself, is love yourself in the moment and make that conscious choice to do it, is what your guides are telling me they're trying to say to you.
So the message from your guides in the cards that were selected out of the Morgan Greer Tarot, is you're burning your candle at both ends. You had very creative plans to begin with, and maybe a little on the grandiose side, but definitely something within your abilities to bring to fruition. But just like everybody, you're trying to do something else along the way, and it doesn't give you time for the Four of Swords reversed. So you don't have time to rest. It's like you cut each day longer so you can achieve something, and then you get up the next morning earlier so you can achieve something. And it's, you don't know that cumulative has a big effect in the end. You got to keep up with your sleep and your health. And then we bookend with threes. We started with the Three of Wands, and now we end with the Three of Coins. So you've got your blueprints made. You're taking it to the architecture, and you're watching the process build. But the materials you chose to build in are stone, and masonry works do not appear overnight. They are works of art, and they're chiseled on and refined and refined and refined. And then they got to go to you to approve the final look, and it's just taking a lot more time than you expected. It takes a lot more time than anybody expects, I think. Do you think that's fair, Amanda? Hello, Bill. How are you doing tonight? Good. I'm glad that we're on track for you. Does anybody else want a reading? Let me bring that banner back up. Jeff, did you have a great day at work?
No, they were pissing me off. At one point, I phased out on a call. I thought I had, we use what is it called? Avaya, the phone system Avaya. I thought I had turned Avaya communicator on, put it on hold, and I think I might have been talking out loud and swearing to the member. They're all taped,
always embarrassing to get caught in that moment.
Like, oh shit! And at one point, I went, wow, like I wasn't really, but I might have before that. And I called her back because she had hung up on me, and I don't know if she hung up on me because she got the answer, because she said she had the phone number already for the place she needed to call, or if she hung up at me because I was cursing. So,
you may hear about that. There is there is effect to some causes.
Yes, unfortunately, even as we grow older, when I feel there shouldn't be, there is. Oops, sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
I think for every year that you've aged, you should have a pass it by point in the jar, especially if you're in the customer service industry, because you'll get some of the nicest people that call you, and then you will get some of the most cantankerous, uncooperative, belligerent, abusive people that get into you. And it's like,
in the chat, people say,
come on, I'm the one you're calling for help, and you really think I want to help you now that you called me a horse's butt?
I really want to open the cards up when they call.
Welcome to the psychic hotline. Madam Cleo at your service. Let me pull the tarot cards. Oh, I see. This is what you want. You pushed number 2. That means you need this assistance with your medical bill. Let me see if this is going to help you, and then give them a reading.
Remember when Jeffrey Toobin got caught sort of masturbating? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but
Oh.
I can imagine how privately, publicly, you could be embarrassed about something like that.
I try, Felicia. Some days are better than others.
So,
This week with the retrograde, not so much.
so I'm thinking that maybe Cosmic Orphan has named some part of his body Jeffrey Toobin, so he could pull it. Oh, on a Zoom call. Is that the one where he accidentally stood up and showed a pantsless Woody?
I think that was it. I couldn't remember exactly what he had shown and the action, but I think
COVID made us. COVID made it really easy to work from home, but then let us know that we have some responsibilities when we work from home. That it is not what happens in our house stays in our house, because if you're on a Zoom call, it's all over the ethers. Stephen, do you want a reading, or would you like to do a reading for Jeff or myself? We can play this role reversal just fine. We're metro flexible here. I'm glad that you're laughing, Felicia, because my sense of humor is not for mass consumption. I think it's a niche, and it's probably just as niche as the Venn diagram of people that come to YouTube for tarot readings, and then that little slice out of both circles that people that watch my channel, and there's very few dots in my channel as a whole, and then very few that even overlap. And can't get a reading. What tarot place? What tarot HOA is on your case, Stephen? Is Karen or a so-called Karen can be male or female? I had one at the last condo association I lived at. He provided me with a thing that would be passable for outdoors, and then 2 weeks later, the owner of the property said the thing that he gave me was not part of board recommended pottery, or it didn't make the aesthetic because it had too bright of colors. It could only be terracotta with a terracotta saucer under it. It couldn't be glazed ceramics with very pretty colors and multiple colors on it. So Queen was just all inside of her fifis. It's like, okay, have the pot back. Oh, by the way, you can have the Diefenbachia. I hope your schnauzers eat it or something.
Oh my god.
And Diefenbachia is known as dumb cane, making it hard for people to speak if they ingest the interior of the plant or the juices. Basically sounds like it leaves little hairy filaments that inject a little I don't know if it's like a lidocaine substance, or like nettles that make the voice go away.
Hi, Claudia.
Hello, Claudia. I haven't seen Claudia for for a good while. Welcome back to Jeff's channel, and for me, seeing you in my orbit again. Thanks for coming around. Absolutely. But we were going to do one, or Stephen was going to do one for us. The one for me would be easy. Would be, am I going to ever reach my personal measure of satisfaction on YouTube? Or am I chasing a red herrings? I've got you on the list, Claudia. So, a King of Swords for me. That I'm always in my mind. I'm trying to run the numbers and the statistics. I'm quote gaming the system, or trying to figure out how to get where I want to be in cheap and easy. That's my style. I want to do it fast and furious. Then judgment card. Yeah, I judge myself. I can't judge. Nobody can judge themselves against Jimmy Donaldson, a Mr. Beast, or anything like that, because I'm an education channel. I'm not an entertainment channel, and I don't have a staff of 60 people and a budget of $1 million for every video that I put out. So welcome to tarot on a popsicle stick and glue and glue sticks and duct tape. Those will be the accoutrements that you see in the background. Well, I want to poke holes in the systems that are there. I want to see if they're leaky, and if people say, "Oh, this is the best way. This is a fail-safe way to do it." When I poke and see what's there with the tip of my sword, sometimes I can puncture and see through the facade that it's not going to be as easy to game as I thought it was. And you have a third card. Well, thank goodness everybody here sees judgment. I'm being called to respond. Yeah. Consequences for my own actions. 8 of Swords. Oh, sucky energy of that self-imprisonment and being the restrictor of my own forward momentum. Will I learn to untie my ropes and gather my swords and go back to the castle, or do I sit out there and rest for a while in the weather? Okay, that was a backfire, not gunfire. Yay. That's a good thing. We only had 3 sets of mystery knocks this afternoon, and it came about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The Lord of Shortine Forced. Don't overload. Well, yeah, I'm still at the throw different types of pastas at the wall and see which one's al dente, when it actually sticks. Because I haven't found a good way to get legs shortened force. Okay, so because of my diminutive stature, I'm feeling unseen on the platform. Um, not not a physical diminutive stature. It's just my lack of long video content. I would see in that sort in that realm of the reading. I don't have brute force, heavy hitting, high impact videos because it's for a tarot community that um, really is very timid around high energy things. Um, get they get nervous very quickly, and I don't know why because I don't know why because I think that these would be the people that have the mental courage and knowledge to pull off these more difficult personal goals than the average Joe. Okay. So, Claudia, did you have a subject that you wanted us to read on? So, do you have any about love? Just so tired and want to be sure about my destiny partner. Um, wait 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and energy changes anyway. So at this particular 120-second interval in time, we draw the Empress in reverse. You're not feeling very creatively motherly. You're not feeling like Mother Earth, Gaia vessel. You're feeling infertile. You've got the rabbit next to you, and you see the rabbit is always pregnant, always having a litter of kits. And that's your familiar, so you should be aligned with that power, but you're reversed. So I think you're looking at yourself as barren in this, and maybe you're in a culture or a place state where children are expected and required by the extended family because um, the more children that you have, the more people that can support you in your old age. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So you're really coming at it as you just don't have the resources. You're lacking all that abundance that should have been due you or given to you as a birthright. Remember, we aren't owed anything in this life. We got to go out and create it and make it for ourselves. The universe doesn't owe us a thing. It owes us oxygen and it owes us soil. So we can take our first breath and cry about it, and our last breath and be buried and returned to the soil. And then we have our Page of Pentacles reversed. So the love message that you're looking for is being overshadowed by your physical orbit, your household, your car, your place of work, whatever it is, your resources around you. We'll read for you, Mystique. So when you get in that sense, it takes the emphasis away from love and puts it into a lack of an everyday need and resource that you're always fighting for and scratching for. And that's what I have for you, Claudia. So that was the Empress reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed. And so we had a progression upwards, escalating that Pentacle suit at the end.
So I drew 3 cards to make it easier. I drew the King. I actually drew the same 3 cards I got in part of the reading for Amanda, oddly enough. I got the King of Pentacles reversed, which to me means that for you, Claudia, this is like as Thomas said, there's something about this connection that's based in a financial necessity or something that is convenient that the two of you share, but the way you phrased your question, it made me think he's in love with someone else, or she's in love with someone else, or she's in love with him desperately, but it's not being returned, and you're in some type of denial about it. 2 of Wands. So one of you's in like, this is what it looks like upright, but this is 2 of Wands reverse, denial. And then I got deception reversed, which is the 7 of Swords. So the way you're asking the question, from the energy of the question, that destiny doesn't have to be your destiny, obviously for entertainment purposes only, but it seems to me that maybe someone's having more lustful carnal feelings about somebody else than they are, about you or something, because I did get the isolation card here, and I look at where his hands are, like kind of where Jeffrey Tubin's may have been going. But see, what I'm saying to you is I don't think with the 4 of Swords reversed, there's any time to wait or to spare, because you're hurting both of you by not thinking about what's best for the other. So whichever one of you is doing the disservice to the other by not telling the truth, I'm wondering if there's some element of mischief outside of the relationship. If it's about cheating about money or cheating about the partner, you need to come clean, or he needs to come clean to you. So if you're pinning your hopes on this partner, I wouldn't do it. It sounds like it could be tragic. And that's what I got for you. I'm sorry. It's probably not what you wanted to hear, but
Missy, love is in the air tonight. Jeff, is love in the air tonight for you?
Depends on who I'm going to look at when I get to my phone before I go to bed. Am I going to be looking for this evidence, or am I going to be looking?
Are you looking at Brayden?
No, he's asleep down cellar. Am I looking?
So yeah, I'm not looking at any potential romantic things coming into my life, but just as I give up any effort into it, I may relax enough to let it accidentally happen. I hope not.
No.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, none of the people that, like, I idealize relationships how I want them to be. So when I manifest them and they don't meet that, I get hurt easily. So it's not.
So you don't like a messy manifestation of what you dreamed of.
Yeah, and what I'm dreaming of in a lot of cases is messy to begin with. For some reason, I seem to choose that.
Okay, for Missy, I've got the Chariot upright, and so you're moving forward at least. We don't know how far destination that you have, and are you going to keep the energy with a forward momentum? Because the Sphinx, the Black Sphinx, pulling you to the left, the White Sphinx pulling you to the right. You don't have any reins. You don't have control over them. So you've got to coax them with your voice and commands. Hopefully they've been well trained. Well, a Sphinx hasn't been well trained. Um, they're regal and all, but they are creatures of their own uh, realms, and really don't kowtow to man's wants and desires. Then we have the magician. Then we have the magician reversed. So I think that maybe, Missy, you're not using all of the tools in the toolbox or the arsenal that you've been given. So whatever is accepted by the society in where you live, use those tools of being a fetching woman to bait the trap for potential suitors. Use everything that's legal around you, because all is fair in love and war, and love sometimes is as close to war as you'll ever get, because they're both passionate subjects. And then we have the Page of Swords as your last card. And so your page gives you the message of, you got to think clearly, you got to be analytical about this, you got to be sly, you got to be wary, you got to be cagey, and project maybe a you that you don't want to project, but you've got to present a public face that is very desirable to the partner that you want to attract. And that's what I have for you, Missy.
This dovetails very well off of what I got for you. I did a Celtic cross, and what I got for you sort of feeds into what Thomas is saying. I got the High Priestess as the energy you're in right now, which is in this deck, the reflection card. And she's on the computer, she's on social media, maybe she's on Grindr, maybe she's on whatever. I did get some experimental vibes where you're concerned. I don't mean gender to gender per se. What I mean is you're willing to try different things to see where it's going to lead. With the Ace of Cups, in the energy you're sitting in, there's some repressed stuff, which with this energy to me can be something that can be divine, or it could be something that could be very scary, because the inhibitions could be what's hurting you, and then the lack of the inhibitions could be hurting you, but the uninhibited qualities could also be hurting you too. Like this, think of this as the cup runneth over. So you've got to strike that balance. You've done in the past, I think, what Thomas has said. I did get the fertility card, which of course is the Empress. You really have stood in your own authority in the past. And I think, again, Thomas hit on something else that I agree with. Something about not for fearful men, but for strong men, or you being in your authority, regardless of what it beckons. But what's interesting overall on this brings me back to that sadomasochist vibe. Look what I got for you: bondage, and I got the devil over on top of you. So I'm wondering if There was some abuse. I'm just going to say it. Some abuse as a child. If there weren't any abuse, if there were anything that you were repressing that hasn't been analyzed fully, or that came from maybe your upbringing with others when you were interacting in relationships or experimenting, that has led you to a place where you want to go hedonistic. I think you just want to celebrate. This is the three of cups, and you want to be put in a position where it's not about you, it's not about the other person, it's more about transcending both and having the best time that you can have, which I think you can do. You just have to balance the energy. So that's what I got for you.
And okay, we'll have Delphi as our final read for the night. And Delphi wants to know if the work she's doing is to help those charities that she's helping, to keep them there or expand them. I have a feeling that maybe they're foundering at the moment, and it's sort of an all hands on deck scenario where every dollar can keep them in their budget going for one more hour. But it's that tight. It's like the door could be locked in the next hour if we don't make that dollar. So we start out with the Page of Wands. And you've got that creative energy, that spark, that gusto. This is a cause that stirs your passion, or the causes that stir your passion. So you talk the talk, but then you back it up with walking the walk. Then the next card that you get is your King of Cups reversed. And sometimes you put too much emphasis on either accommodating the clients of those charities or the necessary structure of the office work of those charities, that you don't, you've got too much charity time that you're giving out every week. And I think that that doesn't let your love cup be filled with the love of the people that are around you, because they miss you, because time is an expense of self. Time, talents, and treasures. Those are the three things that we can give. Time in the form of service to the charities. Talents being, whether you're great at yeah, we're not going to get personal with you. We're reading with Delphi, and I think that was a comment I made about Missy. But Delphi, we end up with the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is here to teach us a lesson, or we're here to take something away about how the system works. Does the system game us, or do we game the system? And if you were trying to game the system, I think you're trying to do it for the embetterment of the charities that you're working with. That's what I have for you, Delphi. I hope that helps. I've probably added to the confusion. I don't know if they're going to use those resources to expand or keep there. I think right now they're in the moments of just trying to keep the doors open from budget period to budget period. I don't see any expansion without a very vested contributor.
I didn't read the question the same way, but I'm going to answer it because most of what Thomas said I agree with, but I didn't read it that way. Hi, Michelle. I got the I got Knight of Wands reversed for you. So you're burning the candle at both ends. Stop. You are really burnt right now. You are tired. If you are donating your time and any type of money to add to it, stop. I get the energy off you is just tired, but I get bleeding heart energy and I get really caring energy. The other thing I got was justice reversed. Um, you know, this isn't about external justice. This is about the justice that you feel about things. And when you start losing yourself in the baggage, when the baggage starts tipping the scales, it's almost to me as if you're sitting in some sort of energy, because I have to read this reversed. You're sitting in some sort of energy that makes you feel like you have to overcompensate, keep running and running faster and faster to keep up with it. And in the past, that's led to, when you've done it, bad health. Ace of Swords can be about a bad health, but let's see what's happening with the money here. I'll put it upright. It's a decision. It's the Ace of Swords, but look at the money. He's just tossing it, and his head's coming off of him, right? His head kind of just looks like a figure for the money. You almost, when you do charity work or you do fundraising, which I've done, you have to almost forget you're doing it, and you almost have to be. It's really strange. It's almost like when you do sales that you have to really almost feel like it's a vocation to feel it.
Do you have to operate in minion mode because there are restrictions placed on you? So you feel that you have to be regimented in a certain way?
Yeah.
So automatrons or minions or the work pool, labor resources, you couldn't tell Jeff from Tom, from Mary,
exactly.
as a worker for the organization because they all know the company script so well.
And then you got this overriding energy of something in your past that maybe you didn't have, and you're identifying with that. Like the fact that you didn't have something, you're empathetic to that. And that's also why you want to give more, or you want to keep doing what you're doing. And then I got, this is what I'm calling the bleeding heart card in this case, because it's the Ace of Cups, but it's reversed. So instead of gushing emotion and being effusive or being happy, it's tiring you out, and seeing all of the, I want to say urban decay for some reason. Like there's some charity tied to the city or to the area you're in. It's like a bloodletting exercise. It's like your lifeblood's being sucked from you by doing all of this. And I don't even think it's financial per se. It's your energy that's being drained. I would seriously take a look at kind of tuning it or fine tuning it. And if you can give money, which I don't know. I just feel like you're a bleeding heart and you've got to stop. You've got to put yourself first.
No, she says she can give money.
She can give money. Okay. I never said you couldn't, but I'm just saying, like, whatever it is you are giving, I feel like there's too much of it for you.
Time,
like it's
time, talent, resources.
Yeah.
So, whether it's a financial resource or a time resource, you're spending too much being in the thick of it, or mentorship, management resources. There's a lot of people to manage in some of these charity organizations. And then unless you're one of the few paid board positions, there isn't anything in it for the actual worker level, and unless they're on payroll. So, Jeff, what's coming up in the near future for you that you're excited about?
I have something with Gerald on Sunday, and I'll be on with Deb Zakow, creator of this deck right here.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then between now and then, I don't know. I'll be on. I never know.
Tomorrow night, I have shadow work on my channel with Hershey. Hershey always comes up with some interesting journaling and tarot spreads to help us work on those triggers and help us heal from painful pasts. And then Sunday, we have our intuitive interactive tarot journaling. And we have the Nine of Pentacles coming up for this Sunday, luxury. So if you want to learn about luxury or the lack thereof, I'm very familiar with the lack of luxury and thereof. So I'll be interested to see what would come up for this card. You could have been anywhere, but Jeff and I are certainly glad that you chose to be here. Paraphrasing Hershey's words. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go out and make it a great night. Bye, everyone.
Bye, you guys.